Okay, well, I'm going to put my 2 cents worth in about the blood moons that's been happening. I talked to a pastor about it the other day, and he said, "Oh, we've had blood moons before. We even had one on what was it, Halloween, and they thought it was going to be something. And there was another blood moon. Anyway, he said back during the Cold War, they had some crazy idea that the Russians had turned the moon red, blood red. Yeah, right. All right, they're trying to ignore these blood moons. And normally a blood moon, I've seen blood moon before. It's a solar eclipse. Not solar, lunar eclipse, okay? That means the full moon's out and the earth moves between the sun and the moon. And what turns it red is the light of the sun going through the earth's atmosphere and giving it the reddish glow. Which it's a common phenomenon. What is uncommon is the dates that the next 4 of them in a row happen on. That's right. One just happened, Passover, 4/15. The next one will happen on Sukkot, I think I pronounced that right, which is the Feast of Tabernacles. And then on the Jewish New Year, we're going to have a solar eclipse. So, the sun will be turned black. The moon will turn red. It's in the Bible. Anyway, and then next year, just so happens exactly on Passover. And then again, 9/28, 2015, on Feast of Tabernacles again. Now, even for those that haven't read the Bible, let me give you a little hint. It says in the end times there will be signs in the heavens. Now, the 4 blood moons has happened before, and every time it's happened, there's been something go on in the Middle East. All right? But this is the first one I've heard about that in the center of it all has the total solar eclipse. So we've got 4 blood moons with, in the dead center, a total solar eclipse. Now this is visible here in the United States. The United States has already been warned. We already had the warning when the towers fell. The Harbinger. Anybody? Let's read it. We've already had our warning. So everybody ignored it. We've got gay everything. Our news media is supporting. Everybody's supporting satanic type stuff. So we've already had that. And now, here we got the signs. We've just had our first one. The next one will be, let's see, the 10th month. That'd be August or September. And then total solar eclipse on 3/20 of 2015. And then we'll have a Passover and another one. Now, solar eclipses are nothing new. We've had them before. Lunar eclipses are nothing new. We've had them before. And every time we've had lunar eclipses that happen concurrently on Feast of Tabernacles or Passovers or something like that, something has gone on in the Middle East. Okay, now we've got 4 of these things happening exactly on Passover and Feast of Tabernacles. What is really unusual about this one that nobody's mentioned is the total solar eclipse happening in between on the Jewish New Year. Now, I believe I've read something about this somewhere. Was it in Revelations? Where it not only spoke of the moon turning red, but it's the blackening of the sun. Now, the other day we were in a chat. We wondered what in the world could take the United States out of the picture. Make us, well, we're not a world power anymore, and so we can't get involved. We won't be involved with what goes on in the Middle East anymore. All right? Total economic collapse. That would take us out, and Europe, and a lot of others. EMP would do it. That would be, especially a man-made EMP would do it. And there's another thing that would do it. Yellowstone. That super volcano. Now, on other sites, having nothing to do with these blood moon stuff, last year, I think it was around August of last year, the last report I heard coming out of official report was that the caldera had risen 10 inches. All right. Now, this year, there's unconfirmed reports of unusual wildlife movement, like elk and buffalo moving around. Anyway, they're running to and fro. They're not really knowing which direction they're going. The birds and stuff are leaving the park. Of course, the government's saying, "Oh, they always leave this time of year. It's spring. They're splitting." Well, they're splitting in a hurried fashion right now. So, me being in Tennessee, I'm not going to say I wouldn't be affected. Oh, everybody in the northern hemisphere, even China and Russia, would be affected by Yellowstone going off. But most of it would be in the United States north of the Mason-Dixon line in the summer. In the wintertime, it depends on how the jet stream is running, which carries the biggest part of the ash. Don't get me wrong, Mississippi and all y'all, we're still gonna, by next winter, if this happened in summertime, we may kind of scooch by a little bit with just some cold weather for the summer. But by next winter, we would have the worst winters ever. Down here where I'm at, we'd be looking at like 3 or 4 foot snow, something unheard of. So no, we would not come out unscathed here. Now, everybody west of the Mississippi, like I want to say from northern Oklahoma north up into Canada, y'all are doomed. All that whole part of the country, even Chicago, forget about it. Chicago, Detroit. If this happens in the summertime, because the jet stream is now going right over the top of y'all, most of southern Canada, you're just forget about it. You best have at least 7 or 8 years worth of food stocked up. If you haven't got 7 or 8 years worth and a way to stay warm through winters that are going to last all year long, maybe have your own private nuclear plant. I don't see many people up there surviving. We're going to be looking at snowfall yearly. I'm talking yearly snowfall down in Florida. Florida will probably be our best bet for a growing season, but we won't see any more oranges and stuff like that coming out of there because all all those tropical plants down there north of the equator will probably be killed. South America may, the southern hemisphere will be affected, but nowhere near as bad as the northern hemisphere. I mean, all the way through England, they're going to see the worst winters they've ever seen in recorded human history, because that high dust cloud that blocks out the sun, it's going to look like a giant chemtrail 24/7. You'll be lucky to see the sun. It'll look like a cloud covering the sun for 5-6 years. So that's why I say, down here south of the Mason-Dixon line on this side of the Mississippi, find out what kind of crops have very short growing season. Make sure you have rolls of plastic that you can start your plants in early, because we may get a little bit of a growing season, not much. For your livestock, alfalfa, because alfalfa contains the most nutrients in the smallest amount. So yes, my horses will definitely be on a diet. I personally try to pack away a few barrels full of just raw soybeans. Some crappy straw and a couple of cups full of soybeans will keep them alive. Maybe not best, but enough to get, for us to haul some eggs back and forth. I can feed the chickens dead bodies or something. I don't know, but if it's not an economic collapse, it'll be EMP, or, like I say, think about Yellowstone going off. Think about that. We've got a sign that something's going to happen. Something's going to happen soon. That's what the signs in the heavens are. Something's going to happen. Get prepared for it. We don't know what it's going to be. Whatever it is, it's not going to be good. And it's going to be the fault of those people that have jumped on, oh, it's okay to be gay. Let's teach our children to kiss each other in grade school. All those people, this is what happens when we allow it to happen. And that's why it's going to happen to good Christians too. Even people out there consider themselves good Christians and everything, because you did not do anything about it, it's going to happen to you. Here I am. I volunteered to run for governor, and what happened? Nobody even considered it. Nobody even considered it. And that's why it's going to happen down here. People around here that think they're good Christians are going to die. They're going to die a miserable death because they're unwilling to do anything about it. They think, oh, I'm good because I do everything the Lord says. Well, no, you don't.